Hi everyone, I'm a friendly tree, and today on Nina Williams In Depth we're going to be talking about Nina's Evil Mist, sometimes also called Poison Mist. We've got all the settings set normal, so just the opponent standing, guard all, not set, wake up backward. Basic settings here. We're displaying command history, player attack info, hit properties, recovery information, and player frame data. And then nothing else on. Alright, so Evil Mist. Why is it called Evil Mist? Of course, in the move list, it's called Evil Mist. So that's a good reason to call it that, isn't it? Some people do call it Poison Mist as well, like I said, but Evil Mist is the proper in-game name. We can see here the input. It's essentially a half circle forward. It's from down, back, down, down, forward, forward, then neutral, down, back, 2+3. This move actually has two different ways you can perform it. And because it's a 2-button move, what can be quite wise is to have a button mapped for 2+3. So here you can see I've got the left trigger, which is also the, for me, it's the bottom right button on my stick. So this is a good way to make sure you don't accidentally press the 2 or the 3 before the other, just to make sure you consistently get it. Alright, what does the move look like? That. So that's the move. One thing you notice about it, it doesn't say high, it doesn't say mid, doesn't say low. This move is unblockable. Okay, before we go into those properties though, I just want to mention the input. So you can see here I'm doing a half circle forward, down, back, 2+3. The other way you can do it is a quarter circle forward, down, back, 2+3. And you can see the inputs don't have to be too clean here. So I'm getting downs as well as the down backs to come out, and I'm not doing it exactly frame perfect. You can see the move, startup frame, it says 23 frames from that one. Oh, sorry. But you can see 21 to 38. So that means the fastest this move can come out is 21 frames, and it is active between frame 21 and 38. So it's active 17 frames. That's a very long active frame window, isn't it? And with that in mind, it's essentially a projectile, because the move can still be out and Nina can move for a little while at least. So it makes it very hard for it to whiff punish or anything like that. Now, it does say frame 21 is the earliest, but we've got to remember the input, okay? So the fastest possible input to do it is the down, back, down, forward, forward, neutral, down, back, 2+3. So the down, back, 2+3 is the first startup frame. That's where the 21 frames start from. So before we get to that 21 frame, we've got the down, back, it's 1 frame, down, which is 1 frame, down, forward, another frame, neutral. So that means it's actually going to take 6 frames to start up on top of what it says there. So it's actually 26. Now, I mentioned before it doesn't say whether it's a high, mid or a low. This move is a guard break. So it's an unblockable. The opponent cannot block this move. Of course, even though it's not that fast, it does mean... Oh, crouching. No. It does mean it has its weaknesses. So it is a high. Another thing that can be done, we might actually set the AI to do it. We'll set the dummy to do it. So normally you can see, and it's plus 33, you can fall down. If you hold down when you get hit by this, you fall to the ground. But at plus 33, there's a lot that you can get from it. With that as well, like I said, the whiff recovery makes it very hard to do something like a while standing launcher, the active frame. Very hard to punish effectively. Look at that, I can't even dick jab there, unless I do it while the move's coming out. So trying to get a while standing 1, trying to even get a while standing 4 is a challenge. So really, your best bet if you're trying to punish it is just to do something like a dick jab. Or you can wait and try and use the opportunity to do something else. You could do a low, that you need to do something that does not have your character go into a standing state to try and punish it. Now, I mentioned before it's got two different inputs, the quarter circle forward, down forward, 2+3 not being listed. A real benefit from this is this means that you can do it from forward sway. So for example, down forward 1, 2 forward, down back 2+3 comes out. Down forward 3, 2 forward, down forward 3, 2 forward, down back 2+3, and it comes out. Side step 1 forward, down back 2+3, and it comes out. And rage drive, down forward, down back 2+3. So anything that gets her into her forward rolling dash animation, the quarter circle forward, you do down back 2+3, and you get it to come out. Following it up, so as we said before, it's plus, well, it's very plus, so it depends on what active frame it connects on. So you can see plus 33 at the least, and you can just do the math up there. So it's at least plus 33, going all the way up to well over plus 40. Yeah, okay, plus 50, plus 33 to plus 50. So with that in mind, you can get whatever you want, really. Anything will be guaranteed. Obviously, you can get a very high reward there. Yeah, you get the idea. But of course, if they fall down, it's a bit hard to do. Hold on, we won't do that. We'll go stand, mimic. Oh. So normally you can get something like that, but no. Yeah, you can see you can't get that to connect. So this is where different options come in of what you should do to follow it up. So something like that's always going to be guaranteed. Something like this is always going to be guaranteed. So that's a good option for you to do. Something like that's still always going to be guaranteed too. So that looks so funny, doesn't it? Oh. Pretty much you want to find an option that'll hit them even if they hold down, unless you don't expect them to be going down, and then you can get a much higher reward option. But yeah, a common one to do, up forward 2-1, as long as you confirm it's, come on, as long as you confirm that it's hit. Another good option is actually quarter circle forward 4. If you do a quarter circle forward 4 fast, oh, come on, you've got a combo there. Oh. And if you time it right there, you get a combo there too. Yeah. Ah, come on. Oh, I'm not very good at this, am I? Once again, I'd like to remind everyone that while I'm trying to educate on the matter, I'm not by any way saying I'm the best at it. But yes, anyway, so that's different options you can do. Most of the time it's good to do something like an up forward 2-1. Or you could do a geyser cannon even. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, as long as you do something that connects within the right frames, and you want to try and find something that covers both options. If you're really unsure, and depending on the life they have, I mean, you could always just do something faster, like reverse ivory cutter. Or a blom bomb. You could do, and I mean near the wall you've got different options too. So a common thing that people do near the wall is they'll do something that might splat. So you can see that was when they fell down. I'm doing it too quickly, sorry. Well, this is hard to mimic with the mimic. So you can do things like that, which you can see are going to work both ways. Alright, time for everyone's favourite part, inputs. So, as I said before, it's down, back, down, down, forward, forward, neutral, down, back, 2+3. I like to have a button mapped, so often this button here, but then I do also just press the buttons together. But you can see how there's the room for error of not pressing them at the same time. And if you don't, you get things like that, or even that. So, what I like to do, that's the input. So I do a half circle forward, down, back, 2+3. You see I'm using the button here. Oh. Or the button there. Alright. The other method, quarter circle forward, down, back, down, back. Oh. So that's how I do that. And likewise from sway moves. Yeah. And of course the rage drive. So that's timing, that's how I do it on that side. Let's swap sides. Right. And it's the same deal. You do a half circle forward, 2+3. As long as you get the whole input, you got it. If you stuff it up, that's what happens. So you can see when I'm stuffing it up there, it's kind of because I'm doing it too slow. So, I mean, you can even see that the inputs there on the game look exactly the same, don't they? Because I've gone half circle forward, back, down, back, 2+3. One time it worked, one time it didn't. It's because I was doing it too slow. So if you go and then wait, it can be a bit harder. Or if you do it and the beginning doesn't register quite in time, or you do it before you're out of the input window. Sorry, if you do it before you're out of recovery, that'll happen. Okay, and likewise with the quarter circle forward. Yeah, I can't stress enough, having a button mapped for the two inputs can make it a lot easier. And doing it from moves. Oh. Yeah. Alright, that's inputs. Oh, actually, that's not inputs. That's inputs on stick. Let's just double check that you can see the pad correctly. Good. Okay. Need to hold it a little bit to the side. That's what we want to see. So on pad, it's much the same. So you do a half circle forward, down, back. And if I've got my buttons mapped, it's L2 here. Oh. So same deal about having a button mapped, can make it a lot easier. So half circle, down, back. Or quarter circle, down, back, down, back. Oh. Did I mention my pad was broken? Okay, doing it from a sway. So you can also buffer. So like you can see I'm like going down forward 1, 2, holding the 2. But unfortunately my broken pad isn't registering inputs properly. You go down forward 3, 2, hold it, down, back, press 3. So that's another good way you can do it. You could technically technically do like an empty input, so you could do side step 1, 3, and then down back 2. But you might as well just have a button mapped like the trigger. Okay, and on this side, half circle. Oh, come on. No! Not during a recording. You guys ever wondered why I'm a stick player? Yeah, so half circle forward, down back 2 plus 3. No! Or quarter circle forward, down back 2 plus 3. If you do it too slow, get the wrong input. From the sways. Oh. Yeah. So it's all the same. It's just about getting the timing and doing the input. Yeah. Alright, now that is inputs. Alright, and now time for what is my favourite part. Application. How do we use Evil Mist? This move is great because it's one of those things Nina's known for. You've got her side step 1, you've got her butterfly loops, and then you've got her Evil Mist. I mentioned before it's whiff recovery is godlike. So you can actually use this move, just like side step 1 cancels, you can use this to bait people to come in. And if they try and approach, if they try and attack and they get hit by this, if they're caught off guard, they're not going to be ducking and you can get a full combo of it. So really it can be used as a keep away tool. And you can drop your combos like that. You can use it in your pressure. So for example, you could do things like down forward 1-2 as a 13 frame punish. On the forward sway, the only thing that can't be interrupted is the while standing 4. But once you've got people conditioned, you can start doing it into mist. Likewise, you could even technically do it on block, if they're respecting it. Obviously, they can launch you during this, but it is an option. Likewise with side step 1 pressure, if you've got them conditioned to stand mid block. Wow, I cannot do that today. You can throw in a cheeky mist in there. Throw in a cheeky mist. So it's good to catch people sleeping behind the wheel. If they're just afraid of your pressure, afraid to duck, afraid to do anything, you can throw a mist out. Oh. It can be used in different Oki situations too. So anywhere sort of mid-screen, it's not like it's going to be guaranteed. Well, it's not like it's going to work great for Oki setups, but you could just do things like, oh come on, like that. And if they wake up and press a button, yeah. You can use it to catch people stepping in this situation, I believe. So that's them waking up backward. But let's say yeah. I'm pretty sure you can make it catch left as well. Oh, come on. This is why you should use your button maps, people. So if you do the timing right, you can delay it and you can catch people who are just waking up and blocking. Yeah, anyway, it's pretty linear as you can see. But you can definitely use it in different Oki situations. If you can do what you can to limit their movement, then yeah, do that. Technically, you could do it. You could set it up off like a side step 1 as well. You're probably dropping a lot of damage. Yeah. So what you do there, sorry, is drop a lot of damage and do it kind of late. And it's still not going to work too well. Never mind me. Yeah, you got different options to set it up, but really you're trying to use it in a situation where you're going to catch someone sleeping behind the wheel. It's a lot harder to use mid-screen unless you're using it as sort of a keep away tool. For whatever reason you've got them scared to block, so you might be doing lots of, I don't know, 1+4s, down forward 1+2s, then you can throw out a mist and catch them sleeping. A lot of its application is really by the wall, in my opinion. So let's go to the wall. So by the wall, you can be a lot more threatening with it. So restart position, wall. For example, at the wall, it gives a little bit of a different property, you'll notice. So you can't quite see what it says there, but the key point I want to make is if I go mimic, if they don't hit the wall, they can fall. If they do hit the wall, oh, come on, stop mimicking me when I don't want you to. Yeah, if they do hit the wall, God, that was hard to set up for some reason. If they do hit the wall, they can't fall. So it pretty much means they don't have the time to react to it. And when they hit the wall, you can get much better options. Well, not much better options. You can get wall splats. When they're absolutely as close to the wall as possible. Oh, come on. You only get a 13 frame. But if they're not right by the wall, you can get at least a 14 frame. Which you can wall splat with, and then get big damage. Let's do that properly. Yeah, you get the idea there. So near the wall, you get at least a 13 frame, but in most setups you do, you can get a 14 frame. And then get a lot of damage from it, from a guard break. So how can we apply this? I mean, this is where Nina's combos come in handy. You got the standard one there for the Oki. If they quick back roll and get up, they cannot sidestep either direction, can they? So they're standing up and they're guessing between a mid or a low. But if they expect the mid, you can still do that. So as long as they're not crouching, and that positioning will always give you the 14 frame as long as the mist isn't ducked. As I said before, if it even if they do duck it, it's really hard to punish too. So you can usually block what they do, and if they throw out something like a launcher, they might even throw out something that gives you a free wall splat anyway if they duck it. But at the least you might get a 10 frame, and then you've at least got your frame advantage near the wall to continue your pressure. Another common way is doing stuff like that, or of course that, because if they tech roll into it there, sorry, whoa, they get hit by it. In both directions, okay? So what I'm doing there is I'm going off axis, sidestep left, and into that. And so what you can do from there is that for a wall splat. And I mean that's going to hit on the ground too, so if they hold down they still get hit by that. But another reason why this is useful is because we won't do quick roll left, we'll do, I mean I'm sure you can figure out, if they wake up backwards, stay grounded, but you still get an option at that, so they still have to guess. And you can still beat get up options there. With the exception of that, but that's not much damage. Even spring attack. It even covers spring attack. No, it doesn't cover spring attack. Yeah, trades, I'm pretty sure if you do it perfect timing, it beats spring attack. Oh, don't sidestep there. Sidestep there. Yeah, there we go. So it's a really good option that can beat anything there, really. With the exception of them staying on the ground and they still have to guess. Or... that's right, yep. It won't catch them if they crouch, of course. But like I said, with the whiff recovery, it's not like they can get a lot anyway. So I think it's very threatening near the wall. And I mean things like your sidestep pressure, even scarier. Then you go boom, boom. Sorry. Like that. Stuff like that. Mix it up with mids. And you've got a pretty scary game to play with, don't you? Because they've got to get the timing right. Whether you're going for frame advantage with the low, trying to splat with the mid, or trying to catch them sleeping and blocking and get a mist for a splat. The last thing I want to talk about quickly is Rage Drive. So obviously this isn't a surefire answer to what you can do with Rage Drive, because they can duck. But it is an option you can do off Rage Drive at the wall to be very threatening. Problem is backdash. So the reason I'm saying this at the wall is because it's easily backdashed. Actually, there isn't an option here, is there? There's not a back walk. I can do it with Mimic. Yeah. So they don't even have to backdash. If they're just holding back, it's going to whiff. So that's why I'm saying this is practical at the wall. Because they can't back walk it, they can't backdash it. So it has its uses, but be careful using it away from the wall. So we go like, yeah, we can't do that on block like I said, but you can condition people. Anyway, so I definitely think it's most threatening near the wall. Just mixing it up with whatever pressure you have, it can be very, very threatening. Yeah, you get the idea. Anyway, that's my video on Nina's Evil Mist. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Sorry for a few technical issues throughout, but it happens. Please like and subscribe, and please comment below. Do you use button mapping for Nina, for Mist, or for other inputs? What situations do you like to use Mist in? Do you use it much against the wall? Do you use it much in your gameplay at all? Because it's not a move you have to use, but it's great for catching people, and you can use some pretty exciting setups with it, and have some pretty amazing comebacks. Alright, thanks everyone. I'll catch you next time.
You win.
What's done is done.